These first images here are from the listing on Facebook Marketplace. So these are the photos that the actual listing had in them. And then coming up right after these are the pictures that I took when I actually got there to look at the car myself. And it should be coming up after this one. No, after this one, sorry. There. So not too bad. Been looking for this car for some time here, and we'll get more into the nitty gritty when the video actually starts. These are just some intro images. All right, here's a recording of when I first got it. This is before I washed it. My friend just dropped it off to my place, and I think I'll go through it and I'll vacuum, and then we'll go ahead and pressure wash it and clean the engine bay, the exterior, the best I can with the pressure washer that my neighbor let me borrow.
Documented.
And here is the after. Uh, Washing it the best I could. Scrubbed it down a little bit. Nothing crazy. Don't plan to keep the
Not
color the
perfectly
same,
cleaned, but
but it cleaned up okay. And I got a lot of more work to do. As you can see, the floor pans are not rusted. I cleaned the best I could. I really got to do a deep cleaning, but that'll be next.
hey guys. So you saw the before and after video of me getting the Z. This is a 1974 Datsun 260Z. And yeah, they made this car only 1 year, 74. Specifically, this model they only made for half a year. It was the early production model, had the thin style bumpers on it, like the 240 had. And this car is all pretty much all complete and original, right? So there's a 4-speed. I'm assuming it's the original transmission in the car because the engine number on the VIN plate matches the engine. And as you can see here, if you guys know anything about Z's, you might, because you're watching this video, that they have the original flat top SU carburetors, which is pretty cool to have here. And you'll see that the original color was blue. You can see the blue, I think the paint code was 305 or something like that, 303. It's over there on the radiator shroud, or a support bracket rather. And I guess it had white interior also, which I looked up and it was a pretty rare option. So that's pretty cool also. Which, you know, if it was original and the color wise, then it would make it very collectible. Given the fact that they only made this for a half a year basically. Another cool thing about this particular Z is that it came with factory installed air conditioning, and not dealer installed, not an aftermarket kind of thing. It was a factory, and to actually have that factory installed air conditioning just makes it just a tad bit more rare, in my opinion. More desirable by me. I don't know how many other people desire 260Zs. A lot of people like the 240s or 280s, the enthusiasts here. So yeah, in the previous video, I recorded the before and after kind of cleaning the car up. I didn't really record the process. It's pretty nasty. I took out all the carpet that was in here. I vacuumed as much stuff as I could. I still obviously need to do a deep cleaning in here. Haven't really found the time to do so. I just finished my finals with school. I just graduated a couple days ago on Friday. Today's Saturday. Oh, today's Sunday rather. So, and then Saturday I had my dinner. So that was exciting and fun. I just have not had time. I've had this car for maybe about a week and a couple days now here. So yeah. So I plan to redo the entire interior. I did try to connect. Well, I did connect a battery, and I tried to start it with by powering the starter directly with this little concoction here. You can get a Harbor Freight for, I don't know, a couple bucks. I don't know, $7 or $5 or one of those deals. And it's pretty cool. You just connect it to the positive terminal and ground it, and you can just press the button and it'll try to turn over. The light did come on. The brake light inside came on. However, the negative terminal started getting hot, and I think it has to do with the fuse box not being grounded, perhaps, or maybe there's a positive touching, the ground part of the body. But we'll see about that. One cool thing about this car is that there's no rust on it. I mean, there's a little bit of surface rust from water sitting in here. The car was garaged for 26 years. It was outside for 1. And this window on the passenger side is broken out. So I'm assuming it just rained like crazy in here. That window on the driver's side was down as well. So rain, mice, rats, whatever in here. Carpet sitting over it probably just started building up a little bit of that surface rust, but just for 1 year, so nothing crazy. Under the body is pretty clean, no cancer rust, some surface rust, like normal, but nothing that's gonna rust and could cause me an issue. Some stuff I could just spray and probably eliminate most of that surface rust, and most of the suspension parts are being changed anyway, so all the rubber on this thing is hard as a rock. Not this one, but most of it is. Dash is fucked, as you can see. We'll have to redo that. One thing that's pretty cool is I didn't have keys when I bought the car. So what I had to do was I did some research because I was looking for cylinder locks, the new ignition, all that, and it was going to either cost a lot of money or have a locksmith actually remake the keys. However, I found on I don't remember if it was eBay. I don't remember if it was YouTube or a forum that I saw that there's some guy that will actually make the locks based off of the code on one of the cylinder locks. So what I did was I took off the door panel here. I removed the cylinder lock here. And what you can do on these old cars and some other old cars is there is a code. You give it to some guy on eBay. I can post the links in the description. And he will cut the key based off of that. So based off of the code. So that's pretty cool. And one thing about that is that you'll have a key made like it was from the factory and not a worn out copy of a key. So that's also a good option if you just want a good key. But for me, it'll open up the doors, open up the rear hatch over here, and start the car. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm pretty sure they're all the same. I don't think it's ever been changed. I am technically the second owner. So what happened with this car is that I saw it on Facebook and they had it for like $4,500, and I was pretty interested then, to be honest. I messaged the guy and he didn't respond for at least 2 weeks. So at that point I kind of got uninterested. Well, not uninterested, but I was just so preoccupied with school and family. I have a daughter and wife, and I just didn't have time. Eventually so he messaged me back and I just like whatever. And then I was looking on Facebook again, like I always do for cars, especially 260Zs. And he had reduced the price $1,000 to 35. So I said, "Oh man, this is my opportunity." I told my wife about it, and she was like, "Yeah, I want to buy you a graduation present, so go ahead and get it." I said, "Wonderful." So I took that opportunity, and I didn't call the guy. I messaged the guy up, and then I told him, "Can I go see it now?" You know, he lived out in Orosi, California, which is about 3.5 hours from me. I live in Los Angeles, and I went and met up with the guy. I looked at the car and I offered him $3K for it, and I got it, which is a really good deal for this car. I hit up my buddy, and he brought his truck and his trailer. He lives in Fraser Park, and he did me a solid and towed it back. He kept it at his place for about 5 days. He goes to school with me, and we were just finishing up some final exams and all that stuff. Then he was able to bring it down, which was awesome, and he really did me a solid there. Anyways, so I get the car here, and a couple days ago, I think it was Wednesday, after one of my finals, I went to DMV, or I went to AAA rather, and I tried to register in my name. I have a bill of sale from the guy, and apparently he bought it from the original owner, and he had a bill of sale from that person to him. So I had a bill of sale from him to me as well, and I have a picture of his ID and all that stuff, his information. So I took it to AAA. They said they couldn't help me because neither of those people were the registered owner. So I was like, fuck, this is going to be a pain in the ass. He told me I had to go to DMV to figure it out. He gave me a paper. He said, fill out this statement of facts thing. So I went to DMV. I didn't do that. I went to DMV first, and I talked to a really nice lady over there, and she had me fill out the statement of facts and all that stuff. And I think since it's such an old car, it hasn't been registered since 1999. It wasn't reported stolen, nothing crazy like that, which I did do my due diligence before I bought it, and knew that. And she was able to register my name, which was awesome. So anyone trying to register a car that you don't have a title from the original owner, and I think as long as it's not valued over like $5,000 or something like that, then you might have good luck. I don't know if you're gonna have as much luck as I did. The lady was super nice. I was nice to her and respectful to her, and she was able to help me out. I probably played a factor, but I don't know the actual way you're supposed to do it. She might have had to try to contact the original owner. You have to wait 90 days or whatever. If they don't respond, then you get it. Or if they do respond, I don't know what happens. Anyway, so that might be a route for someone down the line if they're trying to buy something that they don't have a title for. So that's that. It didn't cost me too much, like $243 to register. Wasn't anything crazy. So what I'm doing now is I went through with my borescope and all the cylinders because I could not turn the engine on the crankshaft. As you can see, my little concoction here. What happened was all the cylinders looked great except cylinder number 6. So let me show you all how decent it looks. I'll go through one, and then I'll show you the shittiest one at the last second. So let's go into cylinder 1 here first. All right. And as you can see, not bad, you know? The wall looks okay, the piston looks okay. Now it's pretty, almost at top dead center, so it's kind of hard to tell on that one. But I'm assuming it looks like this, right? There's a little junk in there, but no big deal, right? It's just probably some debris over the years, stagnation, maybe carbon buildup. I don't know, something like, probably. So it looks good. You can still see the etch marks on it, which is awesome. Same deal for cylinder 3 here. Same for cylinder 4. Let's see if I can get in there. It's hard to record and do this shit at the same time. There we go. Same for cylinder 4. And let's go to cylinder 5. If I can get this all together. Alrighty, let's go into cylinder number 5. Pretty decent. Now cylinder 6 is all fucked. Alright, let's go in there. I have fluid in here right now, so it'll look a little funky. Hard to tell. Let me wipe it off to see if you can see a little better. Okay, I wiped it off. I know there's fluid in there, but hopefully there's not any junk on there. Okay, here, there you go. See a little better now. You can see the valve is open there. That's the valve right there. And then you see in there, I was trying to hammer it down with an extension, like a ratchet extension. Wouldn't budge. There was a lot of rust. I might post a picture of what it looked like before, because I did take a picture of what it looked like. And so originally I had soaked it in with PB Blaster, and I let it sit for over 24 hours and nothing happened. And then my buddy, that's the diesel mechanic, gave me this Freol. It's also penetrating oil like PB Blaster, but apparently it's really good. It smells like shit, by the way. But I put it in there, let it sit for over 24 hours as well, and with no avail. So I saw on YouTube some guys doing experiments on pistons to loosen up the rings, and apparently white vinegar worked really well and won. I guess they were having a little competition with penetrating oil transmission and acetone and all that. So now that cylinder is full of vinegar. I'm gonna let it sit for 24 hours. Hopefully it does something. You know, it'd be really nice to have this thing turn over. Matching, you know, engine number to the VIN plate here is awesome. I want to keep it like that. Worst case scenario, I have to remove the head and try to get the piston out that way. And drop the oil pan, loosen up everything. And but I'll do it. I'm not scared to do that. I'll do that. But I do want to save the engine, and eventually I will probably replace all the rings if there's no major damage to these cylinders. Then I'll measure it, see if it's still within specification, and if it's not, then I'll probably go have them honed out, maybe have oversized piston and rings. I don't want to do that ideally, but I guess we could make this a 2.8 as well. Nothing crazy with that. As you saw over here, if you were looking, I do have the rebuild kits for both the carburetors. I got it on Rock Auto, which is awesome. I will be rebuilding that. I will record all this stuff. I want to record my entire process of fixing up this car. One of the biggest reasons why I got this car is the body is fairly straight. And if you saw the before and after video, I might just make it all one video, but if you watch that, if I don't put them together, go watch that one. If I do put it together, then you already saw it. Obviously you're here watching this, but the body is fairly straight. Yeah, just a couple dings here and there. Who cares? Not a big deal. Nothing that a little hammering out and body filler won't take care of. And the body is really straight. You know, they did such a shitty paint job on this car. And, you know, this red burgundy color is not bad. And if they didn't do such a shitty paint job, I'd keep the color. But since they did, well, obviously I'm going to have to repaint it. I'm going to sand the entire interior down, take off all the interior pieces and redo and get a rattle can of the color I want. I'll have the paint made all at once, the rattle cans and the entire thing, and then for the entire vehicle. And I'll have some rattle cans and I'll just do the entire interior while everything's out so it matches. And I will do that same thing with the engine bay here. It seems like I can get the firewall with maybe taping off most of the stuff if I without removing the engine. I'm pretty sure I don't have to. Pretty sure I don't have to remove the engine to paint the firewall, but there are a couple things here and there that I will need to remove, like the plate here to hold the air conditioning system, the high and the low, some bolts, nuts. Nothing crazy. I'll tape as good as I can the engine, the vent plates and all that. And yeah, so it's pretty rare with factory installed AC, not dealer installed. So that's pretty rare. That's awesome. I connected the battery. The negative side got a little hot, and I tried to start it with a little $7 thing, and I think it is because of that fuse box not being connected, and probably like shorting out on the floor there. And yeah, let me show you the other side while we're at it. So yeah, before I show you the other side, I have the vinegar in there, and I have my breaker bar with my jack pull with a pipe wrench with an old school iron, holding it, getting some tension on there, and hopefully it'll kind of just etch away at the actual vinegar, removing the rust, and maybe it'll move a bit. Have this here, this little knee pad thing, just in case it does loosen up. I don't want to worsen the body. But the hood's pretty good. There's a little ding here. I guess they bumped into something, but looks like I could probably hammer that out, no problem. The bumper, some fucking idiot, I think they were trying to tow it with a chain or something instead of actually using the tow hooks that it comes stock with. As you can see under here, if you can see, that's the suspension components. But there's like no rust, which is awesome. Let me see the fender here. The rest of the body, you saw it in the other video, or this video, the beginning of it. It's pretty solid. I think this is the worst spot. And I still think that is just surface rust. I think that with the wire will, or maybe I'll put vinegar on there, who knows. And we'll get most of that off. I drained the oil. I could try to add that video in here. I drained the oil, there was no water. So that was one thing I was worried about, having a cracked head, and that's why water was in that cylinder 6 there. So it wasn't that. So I drained the oil, nothing. That valve is the exhaust valve, because when I filled up vinegar, it all spilled out on the floor here. You'll probably see the stain because it was like an hour ago. You'll see it there if it will focus there. See, it came out right there out of the exhaust manifold. So I'm pretty sure that that's what was just open, getting full of moisture. I don't know if these are original tires or rims. I mean, rims rather. These aren't original tires. These are actually from 1985, believe it or not. And they're still holding air, which is awesome. And so if someone knows if those are original or aftermarket, let me know in the comments. That'd be cool to know. The rear bumper looks great. There's no issues there. All the rubber is fucked on this thing. There's a little crack there on the plastic that I think I'll just go ahead and do some plastic welding myself and try to fix that out, sand it, and see where it goes. If not, I think I can buy some used ones on Facebook for $100 or something like that. I don't know yet if that's the original spare tire. Hard to tell. Daytona. Someone knows if that's what came on these things originally. It's hard to see. I will eventually get that key. I'll get the key tomorrow, actually. It'll be in the next video. And I'll see if it works. I'll let everyone know. I'll put the link to the guy in the description. If it doesn't work, I won't put the link, obviously, because I don't want to badmouth anybody. And yeah, I think the next video I'll do is probably clean the interior really well. And then probably start taking everything out. If it's not that, if I get this engine to turn over, then my next video might not be cleaning the interior. It might be trying to get it started. And if it doesn't start, then we'll find fuel issues, rebuild the carburetors, that kind of stuff. I'll record all this stuff. This is kind of an intro video, so sorry if it's dragging on, long-winded. It's just kind of everything I plan to do. But every video after this will be actually doing shit. What else do I have for you? Oh, one other cool thing is that I looked in the gas tank and there is no rust. There's a little bit of gas that turned probably into varnish. The cool thing is, I'll show you all right now. The cool thing is that they left the gas cap on the whole time, which is awesome. They left the gas cap on the whole time, which is awesome. And I'm assuming no moisture got in there because it looks pretty good. Hold on, let me straighten this thing out. This thing turns like 180 degrees. It's pretty cool. Got it on Amazon. If you're interested, I will link it in the description. I think it was 130 bucks or something. I got it on some Amazon Prime sale or something like that. All right, let's see. Let's see if I could do this with one hand. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. Come on. Okay, I'll hold it with my cock. All right, there you go. I don't know how well you can see that. There's a little varnish in there. Let me try to move this thing. There it goes. Yeah, that's it right there. You know, just a little varnish in there, but it's not all rusted out. And this is really good news because you cannot find aftermarket fuel tanks for this car. It's you'll have to probably get them cleaned up. Yeah, there goes the old varnish right there. I'll have to either pump it out or just dilute it and just hope that it doesn't mess up anything. It stinks all shit right now. But yeah, you can have them made, or you can have them custom made, but they don't make aftermarket ones. So it's really cool to be able to have it nice and clean and not all rusted out and not full of fuel either, which is awesome. And yeah, so I plan to do fun stuff with this car. I want to do everything myself if I can. I'm going to try to do it as cheap as I can. Redoing the door cards. I'll probably fix the vinyl with vinyl repair, like right here. Right here, right here. They're not horrible. That's the worst spot. And we'll see if that works, and then I'll paint it with vinyl paint, plastic paint. Have a better look at the interior. As you can see, I've been sitting on that one. It stinks in here. It smells like mildew. And if I can't, then I found door cards on Facebook and all that. That won't be an issue. Won't be an issue to get. And I'd rather just fix it and not pay extra for stuff. The stars seems like it works, but who knows? It's clickety clacketing, so it could just obviously be because of the seized up piston, um, or maybe it doesn't work also, but it's not turning by hand, so we'll see. Hopefully it works at least enough for me to work on this car a little bit and get it turned over and get it running. Yeah, there doesn't look like there was any major issues with it, but who knows until we start it up. But I really wish they left it the original color. It'd be easier for me to sand and paint because you can see it's all peeling off here. It looks like crap. But there'll be a lot of elbow grease to get this thing sanded down and repainted. I want to do emerald green if I didn't already say that. But yeah, so I think that's it for today's video. I will be posting another one of either cleaning the interior and or getting that engine to break free. If I can't get it to break free, then I'm taking the head off. I'll do a video on that and every process to get this car going and get it on the street. So it should be fun. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Alright guys, here goes the draining of the oil. And as you can see, when it comes out right now, there'll be no water. So that was the good news, that it wasn't a blown head gasket or anything like that. Should be coming out here shortly. There it goes. Water would have came out first, since water is more dense than oil. It would have been on the bottom. So oil coming out first means that there's no water. And there you have it. Thanks again for watching, all.